Hi there, I'm Michelle Cobb from JHMG, and I'm here to talk about AI Bot Traffic Analyzer, which is a tool that we created to help you to understand which AI bots are visiting your site, what are they doing once they're there, and are there issues that they are encountering that are preventing them from efficiently crawling your site, which is extremely important as AI SEO becomes more and more important. So let's take a look around. So this tool is available at aibottrafficanalyzer.com. And right now it is free to use because it's in beta. And we would love your feedback about what's helpful and are there any features that you would want to see that it doesn't have already. So the way that AI Bot Traffic Analyzer generates its insights and reports is by looking at the AI bot traffic records in your website's access logs. And there's two ways to get those access logs to us, and I'll go over that in a moment. But for now, what can you glean from that data? This is a look at some sample data from our own website, and we have some site statistics, as you can see at a glance. So we can see the top 5 resources that AI bots are hitting on your site. And if you want to know more about that, you can go and see the full hit count report, which very importantly allows you to filter by particular AI bot. Right now we have support for GPTbot, Googlebot, Claudebot, and Perplexitybot. And we will keep that updated as market conditions change. But you will be able to see, for example, we saw that Claudebot, for example, is doing very different things on our site than Perplexitybot. And if we need to promote certain content to a particular bot, one way of doing that would be to link to the new content on pages that we already know are very favored by that particular bot. Or bots as a whole. So whatever the case, you can export this report to CSV, and any filters that you apply will be applied to that export so that you can take a look and plan accordingly. You can plan your strategy from there. Other things that this tool can give you are error reports. So we definitely want to know if AI bots are encountering errors when they try to crawl your site. And here you can see them all. You can see what was the requested resource, what was the error code, and which AI bot had the problem. And we include spoofs here, and I'll talk more about spoofs in a moment, because those errors still may be things you want to be aware of, even if the AI bot is not who they claim to be. Then we also have slow response analysis. We don't have this in our site statistics because in the last few days we haven't had any slow responses, but this will show for all time or for any date range that you choose when are AI bots encountering slow load times for what they're requesting. And this may well indicate things that you need to look into. And we have redirect analyses, which show all the redirects that AI bots are encountering. But even more interestingly, we have redirect chain analysis. This was very useful for us because we became aware of some sequential redirects that were happening where AI bots would request a resource and be redirected multiple times before finally reaching their destination. And this report shows that. So here's where we can see we used to have a URL structure for our blog posts that included the date. We transitioned away from that, and we have redirects going to the new blog structure. But we didn't have a trailing slash at the end. So this ends up being yet another redirect and an unnecessary one. So this showed us how we need to, redirect to the final destination. And this will show you how many times this is happening to see how big of a problem it is or isn't for your website. And that is important, of course, because we don't want to waste our crawl budget on unnecessary redirections. And finally, spoof analysis. This can show you if AI bot spoofs are wasting site resources if they are, for example, excessively hitting your site. So Googlebot spoofs are, of course, the primary offender here. The way we detect spoofs is we see if the user agent indicates that a particular AI bot is making the request, but yet the IP address they're coming from does not match up with any of the published IP addresses that that AI bot has, so that you can verify their identity. Of course, with this, you want to be cautious. You want to do your own research, do your own reverse DNS lookup on the IP address, and know what you're doing before you decide to block an IP address that is making excessive requests. Just in case, maybe an AI bot uses a new IP address and has not yet updated its published ranges. You never want to block an IP address that is legitimately an AI bot. But that report will give you a good place to start. And finally, we have AI Insights. So this gives you the capability to feed your AI bot traffic records to an LLM. And this is really nice because if you've ever tried to feed a full access log to an LLM, you'll see that you'll quickly exceed the context window, and there's other issues too. If we're talking about, quantitative analyses like the hit count analysis, I've had errors in the past where they're making up numbers that aren't necessarily true. But what they are really good at, of course, is pattern recognition. And so this capitalizes on those capabilities. And the way we get around the context window issues is that if your AI bot traffic records, for one thing, we only send those. We don't send the full access log. But also, if they exceed the context window, we break the records into batches that do fit into the context window. And then at the end, we feed all those reports to the LLM and ask for a summary so that you get a full report on all the batches of data. And so, of course, that takes a few minutes to do. You can request it here. You can choose a date range. This is really nice because let's say you get some insights, you make some fixes accordingly, and you want to see how things have changed and hopefully improved. You can compare the report from one date range to another. And you can also select which LLM you want to use. And that's based on the API keys that you configure in your settings. So right now we have support for Gemini and GPT. In the future, we'd like to add capability for Claude. So you can put in your API key, and that way when you want to get your AI insights, you'll have access to those models in this list here. And once your report is ready, you'll get an email and it'll show up on your dashboard. Just to show an example with a little bit of data, you can see here, basically it looks at the patterns and gives you a prioritized set of recommended fixes that it suggests to make. And we have found this very, very helpful for our internal use with our client sites that we're supporting. And you can export this to PDF, and so that you can send it to whatever team members need to see that data. And let's talk a little bit about how we get our access logs to the tool. So this site has SFTP configured. So I'll show you that. So here you can set up your SFTP settings. The password is encrypted and stored securely. And that makes it so every day this tool will automatically fetch your access log records, and it will look at them to see if they've seen it before or not. So for example, the hosting provider for this site is Kinsta, and they make 4 days worth of files available at any one time. So you'll see in your notifications which files it found when it went to do the fetch, and what it found in each file. And so since we have 4 days worth of data and it does this every day, it does definitely look at the same file more than once. And you can see here where it's saying, hey, I didn't find anything new in this file, didn't find anything new in these files. But here it did. This was the new file for the day, and it tells you how many AI bot traffic records it found. However, certain hosting providers don't provide access to your access logs via SFTP. So what do we do in that case? I'll show you using the example of a brand new website. So here you can see you have a choice. You can set up SFTP or you can upload the access logs manually. And if we do that, we can choose, I'm just going to choose a couple files with some synthetic data, just a few records per file, but we can take access log uploads of up to 100 megs each. But if you have a very heavily trafficked site where your access logs are more heavy than that, let us know. So now that it's uploaded the files, you see some notifications. It's telling you how many records it found in each one. And since it did find some data, it now makes all those analytic tools available to me. And right now, our parsing logic can handle Kinsta's access log format as well as combined log format. But if you have another format of your access log records, let us know, because we're happy to update our parsing logic to accept more and more different formats. So again, please come to AIBotTrafficAnalyzer.com, sign up, get some websites configured. This tool is great for agencies because you can configure as many websites as you want so that you can continually monitor them. And let us know what was helpful to you. Let us know what kind of insights you gleaned. And also let us know if there's things that you need that we don't have yet, because we're continuing to evolve this tool every day. Thanks so much, and talk to you later.